Good afternoon, everybody in this amazing group of Mels where your social media rocks. I am so delighted to be here. Now, I'm going to be here for a while, so I'm going to start by saying if you haven't got a cup of coffee or tea or a large thing of water, get yourself one now. Make yourself comfortable, because I could literally talk about money mindset for hours, but I don't. I'll try and keep this to a maximum of a half an hour, but we are going to be here for a while because this is really important. Anyway, I'm just going to start by introducing myself properly. So I am Mandy Nicholson, and I am a creative genius consultant, artist, and author. And I help creative women to launch, grow, and scale their business and make more money. Now, you're probably wondering why a creative genius consultant, artist, and author is here to talk about money today. Well, I'm going to tell you that story first so that you can understand the backstory. But first, here's some house rules. The dog is in with me. He's 14. He's a black Labrador. He does have flatulence from time to time. You may hear it, but thank goodness you won't be able to smell it. There's builders outside making a lot of noise with diggers, so I apologise if those interrupt, but I'll try and talk loud enough so that you don't hear either of those things, but just in case they occur. So I'm going to start by telling you a little bit. Thanks for doing this. My pleasure, my dear. I'm going to tell you a little bit about me first. So I was born in Manchester and went to university in Edinburgh, and I did a degree in art and design. I always wanted to be an artist. I could not find any jobs in the creative space when I left, so I got a proper job like most creatives do. And I worked in retail as a senior leader for many decades. I worked my way up to being a divisional executive, and then I was headhunted by some major brands, by B&Q and IKEA. So I was on a six-figure salary with a comfortable life. I had that perfect nuclear family of married with 2 kids, 2 dogs, living in a country farmhouse, really comfortable. So I really didn't have any money mindset issues or money worries for most of my life. And then in 2009, a series of unfortunate events happened. A series of unfortunate events that would make your hair curl. I'm not going to tell you about them, because if you want to find out about them, and I put this in the group, I wrote my first book, The Life I Won, about those series of unfortunate events. I fictionalised them, and that's the content of my first book, The Life I Won. I'm now writing book 2. So in 2009, all the worst things that can possibly happen to you on that list of, if you Google it, the worst things that can possibly happen to you all happened to me in the space of 12 months. So I ended up at the end of that year living in a council house. So I'd gone from a 6-figure salary, idyllic home, perfect nuclear family. I ended up living in a council house with £30 in my bank account, a clapped out old car, a single mum with 2 kids, 2 dogs. I was bankrupt. I was absolutely at what I considered to be rock bottom. I couldn't see being lower than that, other than being homeless and on the street. So I was very lucky actually to have a council house. So that's where I started to shift my mindset. The biggest thing that I did to turn my life around was to address my money mindset. So what I'm talking to you about today is not book smarts. It's not a degree in this or that. This is a journey that actually happened to me. So I'm bringing it to you from experience. And one of my favourite quotes is, money is just a consequence. It's a consequence of the things that you do and the way that you think. Nothing more than that. Hi there. So that's what I want to start changing today. If money is a consequence of the way that you act and the way that you think, then you can change it as of today. And that's where I was at rock bottom. I knew one thing when I was at rock bottom: I didn't want to stay there. There was no way I was going to stay there. I may not have had lots of material things, no assets, no money, but I had what was in here. And it's the most valuable tool that you have is your brain, and it works against you because you start to form your money mindset around the age of 7. So from 7 years old, you may have been hearing things like, money doesn't grow on trees. Do you think I'm made of money? Money invites jealousy. Rich people are bad people. Money is evil. There's lots of things that I certainly heard growing up from my parents and grandparents. Even though we weren't badly off, there's still this, it's like a red thread that runs through society that's an opinion about money. People need to work hard for money. Money is short. Rich people are seldom happy. All of these limiting beliefs around money that are not only personally ours, but a part of the community and the society that we grow up in. And they're subliminally implanted into our brains on a daily basis almost. Because do you ever remember being told as a child, there's an abundance of money. You will never be short of money. There is no lack in the world. There's enough for everybody. No, I don't think you did, because I didn't. Maybe you did and you are really lucky. But it's unlikely because that's how people tend to view money. So I set off on a journey of exploration around money. I set off by trying to understand, and I worked with a couple of people. I'd discovered The Secret by then. So The Secret, the law of attraction, manifestation, it was intriguing me greatly. So I read the book, I watched the film, I worked with a couple of the people that are in The Secret. So I worked with Jack Canfield and with Bob Proctor. I had no money, but what I had, I invested it really wisely in trying to expand my learning and my knowledge around the way that I thought about money. How was I going to get from this council house to where I needed to be? What were all the things I needed to do? So I looked around and I thought really quickly, how can I set up a business? You know, I've no longer got this highly paid job. I've got nothing. How can I set up a business that brings me money quickly? And I set up a cleaning business. I went from being a senior leader to being a cleaner. And I set up a cleaning business because I lived in a place where hospitality was one of the biggest areas of commerce. So why wouldn't I? It made sense to me. And I actually built that cleaning business up to the point where I sold it on and moved on. But that's not where I started. I started with my thinking. And the first thing I did was let go of everything that had happened. The first point that you need to start from with money is forgiveness and gratitude. And it sounds cheesy and you will hear it a lot on social media, but it is so true. When you can let go of the people that have hurt you, of the things that you've done wrong, of the times that you've got in debt, all of those things that you judge yourself for or feel like others judge you for, that's step one to actually improving your money mindset. And that goes back to, you know, have you lent friends money and they've not paid you back and it's difficult and there's uncomfortable relationships? Were you bullied for your dinner money at school? These people need to be forgiven. Everybody that's had a connection and a negative connotation with you, with money throughout your lifetime, you need to forgive them. And for me, that was a big thing because there were two people that were really prevalent in my life, my sister and my ex-husband, that had caused me this financial grief. And I had to forgive them and let it go in order for me to release all of that negative energy and start to move myself forward. That was one of the biggest things I did around money mindset. And then I started describing my council house as my castle by the sea. It was 60 seconds from the sea, and I started describing it differently and finding the gratitude that I needed for what I had. I was lucky. I had a roof over my head and my kids had food in their bellies, and we were 60 seconds from the beach, so I could take the dogs on wonderful walks. And I started to find real gratitude for what I had before I started to build back up again. So the next step, once you've really started to work on your gratitude and your forgiveness, is to get your ducks in a row. Know what you need to live on and make sure your income meets it. And I've put in the group for you a money flow planner. Start there. Look at every payment that you have going out and what you have coming in. And does it match? And does your income meet or exceed your outgoings? That's your starting point. And it sounds really basic, but a lot of people don't have the control in that area that they really need to have. Ducks in a row is an important step. I number these as steps, you know, forgiveness, gratitude, ducks in a row. Really, really important. Getting your ducks in a row changes everything, because once you're comfortable and you know you've got enough money coming in, you can work on building your income and building your income streams because you are at that comfortable level. So you need to understand it and respect it. So for me, it's about respecting money. Every single penny of it. By knowing it, you are respecting it. And there's a lot of waste in the society that we live in. I am known in my house, and I am really proud of this, as an extreme cheapskate. I have a loyalty card for everything, literally everything. I save all the stickers off McDonald's coffees so that I can get a freebie. And yeah, I can go out and spend £1,000 on a painting. But that's because I'm an extreme cheapskate, and I got my money mindset to the point where I really respected everything. My money vessel, my purse, I keep it really tidy. Open your purse now, or your wallet. Is it stuffed full of receipts? Is it messy, or is it really tidy? Do you respect that vessel that holds your money? I should have had my money vessel with me so I could share it with you. I like to have a really nice purse, and I've got one that I bought in Scotland that's made of purple tartan, and it's beautiful and I love it and I love to touch it. It's tactile. And in the back I keep 3 crisp £20 notes, and it's really tidy. A pen, all my loyalty cards, and the 1 debit card that I have. And I make sure that I respect, guilty, need to tidy up. That's honest. Really good, that's honest. When I'm saying respect your money, I mean in every place that you carry it. So knowing that every penny that goes into and comes out of your bank account is respecting your money. I'm going to ask you to challenge that in a minute, but respect it in the first instance. Respect it in your money vessel. And respect it. Do you have money lying around your house that's not got a purpose? Every penny should have a purpose. So if I whiz this camera around now, on the windowsill there, you'll see 4 piggy banks. All my spare change goes into them. Each one has a purpose, because each one is for either my great nephew or my great niece, and that money gets paid into their bank accounts when there's enough in to make a bag of coins up. So every penny in my life has a purpose, even the pennies, and the 2 pennies and the 5p's and the 10p's. So it's about building up that real respect for money and every single penny of it. So that's ducks in a row. There are lots of things that you can do, and I'm going to challenge you to do this around money, okay? Before we move into more woo-woo stuff, let's talk about the practical stuff. There are loads of sites, and I use one called Top Cashback, where you can shop for the things that you would normally buy and earn cashback. And I wish I was doing a Zoom presentation so I could screen share and show you how much I earned from Top Cashback last year. Because I actually earned, I have this on my PowerPoint presentation, I talk about money all the time in MIB groups, I regularly do a guest speaker slot and talk about money mindset, and it's always the most popular. So I earned £1,300 from Top Cashback last year, just from buying what I would normally buy through the Top Cashback site. So there's something for you. That's an additional £1,300 worth of income into my life. Go and have a look at cashback sites. Here's your next challenge. What's your interest rate currently on your mortgage or loans or borrowings? And could you get a better rate? When was the last time you sat down and reviewed that? Or have you just left it, just paying the same all the time? And on the flip side of that, how much interest are you earning on your savings and investments, such as pensions, stocks and shares, ISAs, bank accounts? Have you got your money in a place where you can earn the most interest on it? Because if you can add a bit of interest and save a bit of interest over a year, that can make an awful lot of money. So that's challenge number 2 for you. Go and find a cashback site and join it, and go and have a look at your borrowings and your investments. And if you haven't got any, don't worry. I started with none. Okay, so this is where I want to sort of tell you where my story has evolved to. I started with none. And as I increased my income over my ducks in a row level, every £30, every £50, every £100 extra that I brought in over the month that was over my ducks in a row level, I invested it. So I started by opening a stocks and shares ISA, transferring my company pensions into one pot, a privately managed pot, finding myself a pension advisor, reading books on pensions so that I understood it, so that he wasn't talking gobbledygook to me. And I really got into financial services. And in fact, it's really funny because my cleaning business led me to working in financial services, because one of the people that I worked for, who had a group of holiday cottages, also had a financial services business, and he sold the holiday cottages because I'd done a great job. He then asked me if I wanted to go into partnership in his financial services business. I didn't look for a job for 10 years. I never looked for work for 10 years once I set my intent to the universe that I was going to change my money mindset. Everything found me, and it's still happening, because I'm going to give you an up-to-date live manifestation story at the end of this. It's still happening. Once you set your intent to the universe and you make the decision to deal with something and you put it out there that this is what you want, things come to you. So I went from a cleaning business to financial services, and that got me really into investing. So have a think about investments. You can start with £5. There are great apps now like Moneybox where you can round up all your payments, and all those pennies go into a stocks and shares ISA and start earning interest for you. All of it, everything that you do can earn you money and get you back in control. Yes, everything did find me, and it's still finding me. And this is what I want to really get through to you guys today, is that when you remove the baggage and you forgive and you let go and you tell the universe what you really, really want, this is when big change starts to happen. And I'll talk to you about why in a moment. So the next thing that I dropped into the group for you was called a mirror exercise. And this is really important. I did this with Bob Proctor, and I still love doing it to this day, is that you go and stand in front of a full-length mirror, ladies. We all hate doing this, but do it. And you look at yourself from top to toe, taking in every single bit of yourself, from your feet to your shins, to your knees, to your gorgeous shapely thighs and gorgeous Rubenesque figure, or even if you've got that beautiful lean figure, whatever you look like, look at yourself and you've got to say, this is what a wealthy woman looks like. So this is what a wealthy woman looks like, because unless you believe it in your heart, how are you going to change it? That's the question I would ask. I loved doing this exercise with Bob Proctor. It was really transformational. When you can stand in front of that mirror and not feel like a complete idiot doing it, and you can honestly say, this is what a wealthy woman looks like. So I'm here. When I ask that question of people, what does a wealthy woman look like? Many people get an image of some, suited and booted, high-heeled, coiffed, beautiful makeup woman, that we perceive as wealthy. But this is what a wealthy woman looks like in her art studio, in her oversized t-shirt, covered in paint, with shaggy hair because she's been out. This is what a wealthy woman looks like. You are what a wealthy woman looks like. When you believe that, it helps you to change it. It really does. Because it allows you to believe that you are worth it. And you are worth it. So on that note, I've also dropped into the group for you a money affirmations page like that. Yeah? And I love this. This is, you know, if you love manifestation and you love the law of attraction, I'm going to talk to you about affirmations now, because when I started out, I thought affirmations were write it on a post-it note, stick it on the fridge or the back of the toilet door, and just remember to say it when you saw the post-it note, and that would bring loads of money into your life. Wrong. It doesn't work like that. But affirmations do work. It took me many years to really get behind and understand how affirmations work for us as human beings. And once I dug into it and really did learn, and it was Jack Canfield that helped me with this, I really got behind it and it transformed everything for me. This is one of the big shifts for me. So I do affirmations absolutely every morning when I'm walking the dogs. The dogs will tell you, honestly, they have to listen to me doing these out loud every morning. There's a 2-minute drive from my home to the beach, and I take the dogs to the beach pretty much every morning. And in those 2 minutes and during the dog walk on the beach, I do affirmations out loud. And I don't need to read from a sheet. I'm going to put that down and tell you exactly what I say every day. I say, I live a wealthy and abundant life. Money comes easily and effortlessly to me from multiple different sources. I accept 5 new women into my signature program in May 2021. Okay, these are the types of affirmations that I say every morning. These are intentional affirmations saying that money is going to flow to me, but I'm very specific. I accept 5 new women into my signature program in May 2021. I'm telling the universe I want 5 new clients in May 2021. Each client is worth £5,000 to me. So I'm very specific in what I request from the universe. So there are many examples of money affirmations that you can say when you are deciding what you want to say. You've got to choose what works for you and what feels right. So here's how they work. It's not just you looking like an idiot on the beach saying affirmations out loud to the dogs, okay? You are programming your brain. Your brain is like a computer. And there's a section at the back to the rear called the Reticular Activating System, or the RAS. And this is the part of the brain that is triggered to spike interest and excitement and look out for things for you. So if you are constantly programming through affirmations your brain to look out for what it is you want, and you're doing it in the I already have it. I am a wealthy woman. Yeah, I live a wealthy and abundant life. Money comes easily and effortlessly to me from multiple different sources. You are in the now with your affirmations, telling your reticular activating system that this is what you want to happen. So let's use the example of you decide you want a nice, bright, shiny red BMW. This is the car that you want. You really, really want this car. So it's the actions that you take and what you tell yourself that are going to help you to get this. And I'm going to give you a live example of this very soon. So you are then doing affirmations. I feel great driving down the country roads in my brand new red BMW. You've got a red BMW on your vision board. You are telling everybody that this is what you want. This is the car I want. I'm going to have this car by next year. So you're using multiple sensory activities in order to program this area of your brain. You are visualizing it on your vision board. You are talking about it, and you are programming yourself that you already have it. I enjoy driving down the country roads in my red BMW. What happens is, all of a sudden, you will see more red BMWs. There are no more than there were before, but you will notice more. You'll be at the traffic lights and up will pull a red BMW. Or you'll be driving down the motorway and there's one in front of you and one behind you. Because you're noticing it more. As you're noticing it more, your brain is coming up with actions. So you then need to do the actions that your brain is giving you. Go and test drive one. Go and sit in a brand new red BMW. Smell it. Touch the steering wheel. Drive it down the road. Know what it feels like to drive it. That's free. You can do that. Check out the finance options. And as you're telling the world that this is what you want, you know what's going to happen? Mary's going to rock up with a magazine competition in and say, do you know that red BMW you want? There's one in this magazine on a competition this month. Why don't you enter it? These are the things that start to happen. And that's why I said to you, everything found me. Everything found me because I was telling people that what I wanted from life, and I was programming my brain to notice things. It's when you start to notice things that you can then take the actions to bring them closer to you. And the actions become easy because as you notice them, it's like an aha moment, like an epiphany. Oh yeah, that's that thing. That's what I need to do next in order to get what it is I want. So that's why affirmations work, and they work in conjunction with you telling the world about what you want, visualizing it on your vision board. So it's no use having a vision board and not telling anybody what's on it. It's no use doing affirmations and not having a vision board and not telling anybody what you want. That's not going to manifest exactly what you want. And money mindset is about being able to ask for exactly what you want because you are entitled to it. You feel like the wealthy woman. It's okay for me to have this. It's okay for me to ask the universe and everybody I know for it because I deserve it. That's a lot to break down in our thinking if we go back to little 7-year-old you, because what we have, particularly women, is we have mum guilt. We are last on the list. You know, Johnny needs new shoes and Susie needs new school kit, or the dog needs a new toy. Mum's right at the bottom, and there's guilt in spending any money on ourselves or seeing ourselves as deserving or wealthy women. Then there's money guilt that we all hold when we're in business of charging your worth. You're worth more than just the product or service. You are worth the knowledge and experience that you have. And many women struggle with charging their worth in business. So we carry that with us as well. And then there's money avoidance. If I don't look at it, it's not there. So if I don't look at the debt and if I don't look at the other problems, then they're not there, or I'll just ignore them and I'll pay the minimum and, you know, I'll worry about it later. Rather than owning it, respecting it, putting a payment plan in place, doing the ducks in a row thing and making sure that you're meeting all of those figures that are affordable for you and facing things head on. So 10 years ago I had nothing. I was in this council house. That was 2009. In 2019 I did two things. I bought my dream home that I'm in right now for cash, and it's a £400,000 4-bedroom story home with 3 bathrooms. I bought it for cash, and I launched my dream business within the space of 3 months. I gave up everything else and actually stepped into what I wanted to do and which was creativity, and launched my dream business. In September 2020, I hit 6 figures in that business because I knew I could do it by then. In that 10 years, I completely flipped my life from the £30 in the council house to being able to buy my dream home for cash. Now, I didn't do it by doing anything big. Nobody died and left me an inheritance. I didn't win the lottery. Yeah, Uncle Bob didn't have a box of cash under his bed and I didn't steal it. It was hard work, and it was my money mindset. So I converted everything. Every penny over that ducks in a row went into savings. So I didn't only buy my dream home for cash. I've got £100,000 in my pension. Both of my kids have pensions with tens of thousands in them because I started paying into pensions for them. I've got stocks and shares ISA for me and both of my kids. They've both got savings bonds, and you name it, I've got savings for it. Now, I've done that by saying, right, I've got £30 spare this month. What can I invest in this month? I've got an extra £100 of income. What can I put it into? That's how to do it. It starts with a fiver. It doesn't start with tens or hundreds of thousands. It starts with a fiver. And I took a real roll of the dice with my pension. I pulled all of my company pensions into one pot. And when we did that, we got really good exit values on them because I used a really good pension expert. So when we did it, it was worth about £200,000. By the end of the 10 years, I'd rolled the dice, put that in a high-risk account, regularly had 6-month meetings with my pension advisor, moved funds, did work with it. And by the time we got to 2019, that was worth £500,000. So it is possible to look at what you've currently got, even if it's not very much, roll a few dices, take some advice, and actually change things. So top tips, if you don't have a financial advisor, get one. They're free. Most good financial advisors that are covered by the FCA are free, and they make their money from the products that they advise you on. So they don't charge you, most of them, and if one wants to charge you, then don't work with them, find another one. Most good financial advisors come from recommendation, and they will help you to start to build your wealth, because you are a wealthy woman and you are what a wealthy woman looks like. Get yourself a financial advisor. Then you can say, I've got a financial advisor, and you can feel like a wealthy woman. Find yourself a pension expert if your financial advisor doesn't do pensions. They also make money on the products they advise you on. They're free. Get expert advice. The wealthiest and most successful people surround themselves with people who can advise them well. And many of those people do not cost an arm and a leg and are worth their weight in gold. And like I say, a financial advisor should not cost you a penny. That would be my best advice. If when you start to think, once you've got your ducks in a row, you've got your money flow planner, get rid of anything that you don't need, make sure that your income exceeds your expenses, do all of that work, and then start to really put money on your agenda. So for the last year, I've been telling the world and the universe and everybody that I speak to all of the time that I wanted to buy a castle in Scotland, okay? Now, me and my late husband used to go on holiday in Scotland all the time, and we wanted to live there. He couldn't because he was tied to the Freeman Hospital in the northeast where I live, because he had cystic fibrosis and was a lung transplant patient. So when we bought our dream home together, we realised a really big dream together, and it was beautiful. And 6 months later, I lost him at the start of COVID, which was devastating. He died. So initially, it was a terrible time for me. That was the start of 2020. He died in April last year. So, you know, when I say I hit 6 figures last September, it was I lost my husband last year as well. There were numerous barriers in place for me to not do things. But because my money mindset is where I need it to be, and I've worked on myself a lot, none of these things got in my way. And much as I miss Gary, I'm realising our dream. I decided I wanted to move to Scotland, and I just didn't want to just move. I want a castle. So let me whiz this round. There's a castle on my, there you go, Brecon Castle. And I know it's Brecon Castle because I'm registered with Savills estate agent, and I know the price of every castle in Scotland. So this is not just a whim for me. I want to buy a castle in Scotland to run creative retreats in and bring people from all over the world to my creative retreats. So that's my big goal. Think big. Money mindset is about thinking big. So I've been telling the world about this. In fact, I'm known as the castle lady. I get messages from people I don't know in Messenger saying, you know, there's a castle for sale here. Here's the link. That's how much when I go back to the BMW, that's how much I talk about castles. So when we came into 2021, I made a decision to just take the first step. And I thought, you know what, I'm just going to move to Scotland. And then I'm in location where I want to be for when the castle comes up, I'm there. So I put my house on the market, and I actually sold it the day that I put it on the market. I had the official offer within 24 hours, but I sold it as they were walking out of the door. So I sold my house, my dream home that I'd bought in 2019, and made £50,000 on it, which was great. And obviously I'm mortgage free, so I had this pot of money. So I went to look for houses in Scotland that would be my stepping stone to my castle. And I'm going to share an image in the group after I've finished to show you the comparison between Brecon Castle, which is on my vision board, and the house that I've ended up finding. And it's in Dalbeattie, and it's a 7-bedroom house. It needs completely renovating from top to bottom. And this is really funny. I'm talking about money mindset, and I do all the time. And it's the old bank on the high street. It's 3 stories. So it's the old bank. It's 3 stories. It's 7 bedrooms. It needs renovating, but I'm going to renovate it, and I'm going to run creative retreats for 3 people and test it. The universe looked at what I asked for, and it gave me a practice run. It gave me something that was so similar, but on a smaller scale, to the castle that I have been asking for the last year. This is how manifestation works. This is how your money mindset, when you are totally positive with it all the time and working in all of these areas all of the time, yeah, and thinking about how you can change your wealth and your income producing activities, and you've got big fat juicy goals like that on my so I want you to just take a look at that vision board. I want to serve 52 women this year, 52 women on my signature program. Each one pays me £5,000 to work with me for a year. Work out the income from that. There's the castle on there. There's the new car that I want to buy on there. There's the cementing myself as an author, creative genius consultant. There's not loads on there. And in the middle, I don't know whether you can see it, there's a £1 million note, because that's my goal for this year. So I think big, and I believe that I deserve absolutely everything on that vision board, but I take action. I take action. And that's your next step on here, is what action do you take to get yourself there? Really, really successful people who have a really strong money mindset have multiple income streams coming into their business. Minimum of 7 income streams for successful people. That's what will be coming in. Most of those will be passive, so that you do not have to be doing anything to earn the money. So passive income streams are books. So if you're an author like I am, your books sell, but you do have to market them. But you weave that through your marketing strategy, and you know your books sell and you get the royalties every quarter. So that's a passive income stream. Passive income streams are other things like programs. So if you create a teachable program, for instance, I've got 5 digital assets on Teachable, 4 of which require no interaction from me at all. It's only my signature program where I support it with one-to-one coaching and group coaching. That has any of my time, but it has a limited amount of my time. So income streams, just because you do one thing does not mean that you can't do multiple things or monetize the one thing you do into different methods of bringing money into your world. So successful people, at the moment I have 11 income streams, and I'm about to add 2 more with the new house. So think about that. How many income streams have you got coming into your world at the moment? Can you create more? How do you create more? If you need help doing that, who are you going to ask? Your most powerful manifestation tool that belongs to you is free, and it's the power of asking. Many successful people are happy to share, you know, some top tips with you. For me coming on here and talking to you free of charge today, giving you all this advice, top tips and loads of freebies, is me helping other people to take the step that I took 10 years ago, 11 years ago, when I was in that council house, because I have the knowledge and experience to do that now. So what action are you going to take to increase your income producing activities? See yourself as a wealthy person, a wealthy woman. I don't know whether we've got men and women in this group. I always talk to women, so that's why I do the wealthy woman. What does a wealthy woman look like? Do the mirror exercise. You'll find that I've put in the group as well a money goals workbook. Set yourself some money goals. If you don't know what your interest rates are right now, maybe that's one of your money goals, that you go and investigate and see if you can do better. Set yourself goals that fit the world that you want now. But start manifesting. Look at affirmations, vision boards, manifesting and thinking big. And what is the big thing that you want? If I can have a castle and the universe has given me a practice run that's pretty damn near, actually, just a smaller version, you can do it too. But you've got to be really specific in what you ask for, and then activate that area of your brain that's going to start coming up with the solutions. Find people that can help you. Invest in yourself. The other biggest tip I'd give you, you know, other than finding yourself a financial advisor, is invest in yourself. Find the right help. Find the person who you resonate with the most. Don't be conned. There are loads of cons out there. There are loads of people who just want to take your money. And they have not got the experience or necessarily all the knowledge that you particularly need. You've got to find the right person for you. So if you're going to work with someone and invest in yourself, do your research. Find out about them. Go and Google them. You know, most people now are on websites or find out about them. Look at reviews. Look at testimonials. Really dig deep and find that right person that can help you. I did, which is why I worked with Jack Canfield and Bob Proctor. And I invested in a premium mentor and coach 2 years ago when I wanted to build an online business because there were gaps in my knowledge. Recognise what it is you need. Be prepared to invest in it. Find the right people to advise you. And your money mindset will go through the roof. It's about taking a deep breath now. If you've watched this, take a deep breath and say, where do I need to start? Start with that £5 note that you're going to put into the savings that you're currently not saving. Start with reviewing where you are. Start with letting go of the things that are holding you back. Whether those are people, memories, events, hurts. We've all got hurts. Let them go. Starting today and starting somewhere is better than not starting at all. Don't put it off. Don't say I'll do it next week. Don't say I'll do it tomorrow. Start today. So I hope this has been of some real value for you. Go and help yourself to all the freebies that I've dropped into the group. I'm going to drop in the visual of Brecon Castle versus the house that I've managed to manifest. And let me tell you, it's going to be so exciting. Have a look at my website and go and have a look at the retreats page, because I'm so excited about the retreats that I'm going to create there. We're having themed rooms as artists. It's going to be really exciting, but have a look at that. But that's a work in progress. That won't be available until next year, but it's me creating more income streams. Good luck. And you know what? If you need any help or advice, or you want me to speak in your groups, DM me. I'm always open to having a conversation. Melanie will tell you that. I love if someone contacts me and I think that I like them and I resonate with them, I'll just jump on a call with them, have a chat with them. So good luck, everybody. I wish you all the best. I am holding space for you to step into your big money mindset and find your castle. Bye for now.